Are you ready for question number 2?
I think so.
Yeah. Alright, here we go. This is from Darren from Twitter. He says, do you think it's still worth trying to get onto a label these days if the opportunity comes up? Or do you think you have a better chance of making a living as an artist by doing your subscription idea? We've had a few small labels interested in us, but we're genuinely considering just carrying on independently.
Yeah, and when record labels or managers or people come through, you always want to listen to what they have to say. So when it comes to, I'm not in a band trying to get a record deal, but I'm constantly looking for, for other business opportunities, and people are constantly messaging me and saying, I've got this idea for a business, do you want to be a part of it? And most of the time I say, well, no, it's not what I want, but I always want to hear what they've got to say, because why wouldn't you? And then, without sounding a bit Dragon's Den-y, but you start meeting people that you just say, I'm not really sure about the record label, but that person's really, really good. That person could really take us forward. So if the right offer comes up, yeah, you take it, definitely. But my main concern isn't whether you should or shouldn't take it. My main concern is too many bands are focusing towards the industry, and that is a big mistake. And every single day I'm watching bands and I'm meeting bands, and they're telling me all the things I want to hear, but they're showing me all the things that I'm talking about, which is they're aiming towards the music industry. And every single day someone will message me and say, I want to get a live agent. Of course you want to get a fucking live agent. I want to go out with a really hot supermodel. It's like, you've got to focus towards the audience, and then the music industry come to you. That's the way it works. You can't focus towards the music industry. So if an opportunity comes up, yes, take it 100% if it's the right thing. There's a lot to be said in this day and age as well for small indie labels. I mean, this idea that you have to do my subscription idea. My subscription idea is a fucking great idea, I have to say. Because all it is building a brand and finding a way of monetizing it. That's all it is. It's no newer idea than it's been done a million times. It's not a new idea. However, there are some absolutely amazing indie labels out there. Like literally run out of a bedroom type of label. Amazing. And they might not have any money, and they might not promise that much, but they'll work so hard, and they will make it into a partnership that I think could really benefit so many bands. And I think you've always got to weigh up. If you're a football player and Real Madrid are coming knocking on the door, brilliant. But if they're not, and you've got the choice of Barnsley or Accrington Stanley, then you just have to weigh up what you've got and decide what you want. So I think it's very important in this instance to not dismiss small indie labels, because if the big labels want you, they're going to come knocking. And for me, when I was a kid, I signed to an indie label, and it went really well because it was a part of the journey. Signed an indie singles deal, signed an indie label to a singles deal, we made a single, it went well, and it was that proof that then pushed us on to the next level. So, are you going to go and sell out Wembley Stadium on indie? Well, maybe not, but it can definitely be the next jump. Stop looking at jumping onto the Wembley Stadium-esque and want to go and sign up to Sony, and start thinking about the little things, which is looking after your audience, focusing on your audience, and if someone comes along that you think can take you to the next step, then go with it. And there are, the last couple of weeks I've met 2 or 3 people that don't have massive budgets, they don't have a big company, but they would be such an asset to a band, such an asset, because they're an extra pair of hands, they're organised, they're well connected, they understand the industry, they understand how it works. So I wouldn't dismiss anything. I would definitely look at, firstly, what are we going to do that's going to get us to the next level? And it's always that 1%, it's always that next bit. And I'm getting asked lots for keynotes at the moment. Lots of people are asking me to go and do these sort of keynote speaking, which I'm happy to do, and I love to do it. And someone came through the other day, and it was such a great event, and they said, oh, we haven't got any money. And I was like, yeah, but you will have in 5 years' time. So I'm going to be there because this is such a wicked event that's going to happen that I want to come up and be a part of it, because I know that in 5 years' time, you personally, because the people who are running it are so good, will be putting on big events, and I want to be a part of that. So, everything is a part of the bigger picture rather than jumping onto it. So I think the big thing for this is if it comes through and it's worth it, yes. But one thing you can't do is nothing.
Yeah.
So that's the key. You can, the right thing to do is something, even if you get it wrong. And Ed, who might be watching this, one of my business partners, he always says, if you're going to do something, there's first choice, do the right thing. Second choice, do the wrong thing, but just don't do nothing at all. That's the key. So like, you know, better to do the wrong thing than nothing.
Yeah, so, and you know, to kind of sum up, so mainly kind of just focus one step at a time.
Absolutely,
relationships, yeah.
Yeah, and don't bring the ego into this to think that you're better than a small label, because if you are a small band that doesn't have a label, and a label is saying, look, we're going to put your music out and we're going to take all of that work away from you so that you can concentrate on the songwriting, you're going to concentrate on something else, same thing with a manager, then I would look into it and say, look, why not? Do you know, there's a big thing as well, which we should probably talk about next week, but there's a big thing with managers nowadays. I talk to a lot of managers who are on retainers. So they don't do a 20% thing. They just say, look, you pay us 200 quid or 300 quid a month, and then we manage your band. And they'll have 10 bands, and they manage those 10 bands, and it's a retainer. And the musicians are up in arms about it. They're like, oh my God, you have to pay to be managed. And I'm like, well, to pay for most things in life. It's fine. They've got experience, they want to do it. But you're taking a chunk of work away from the band so they can work on the most important things. Is that a bad thing? It's a really good thing for me.
Yeah, so I suppose as you say, like any help that you can get generally is quite a good thing.